Pokémon Shining Pearl, a game loved by some and hated by many. One of the most challenging Pokemon games due to the purposeful addition of comp team sets for boss battles and IVs that are boosted to the max. Despite all of that, today you are going to see my attempt at hardcore Nuzlocking this game. That means no healing items in battle, level cap for each boss battle, set mode, if a Pokemon faints, it dies, and lastly, if I white out, it's game over. After once again failing my first attempt at a Nuzlocke, I was convinced to run it back. So with my spirit in shambles, I begin my journey in the Sinnoh region. I visit my rival Troy.
Hey, you watch where you're going. You watch your step there.
And he shut the door on my face, so I went in and talked to Ma. What's up, Ma? Troy's mom. Hey, are you looking for Troy? No, I'm looking for you. Troy, what are you doing on that laptop? Oh, close that window. He insisted on following me to the lake. Can you keep up, Troy? Can you keep up?
Come on, you Goku looking bitch. Look like you went through a wind tunnel, son. Look at you, weeble wobble headed.
This is where Dawn and Professor Rawan were having an important discussion and irresponsibly left a briefcase full of Pokemon in the grass. Troy then had a bright idea.
Sends into the tall grass where we were told not to go specifically.
I chose the starter that makes the most sense and took care of this Starly. After getting my first Pokemon, I went back home to Mom where she gave me some running shoes. Made my way to the first town where Troy and Dawn were hanging at the research lab.
Thud, I know, he keeps banging into me. You know what I was banging when I went into your house, Troy? Your mom.
The professor told me I could keep my Chimchar, so I went ahead and named it Coddleditz. Then Dawn went on a tangent about Pokemon things as though I've never played any of these games.
It dawned on you that I didn't want to talk that much?
Oh, but wait, there's more! You have more words to say to me. But now that I have a Pokédex and some balls, I'm able to catch my first Pokemon. If you're not familiar with Nuzlocks, I'm able to catch my first encounter on each route. Duplicates don't count, but if I fail the catch, then I lose that chance. Go Pokeball! We are now up one Starly and a Bidoof. But then Dawn stops me at Route 202.
She's really blocking me until I go talk to my mommy. Oh, I went into the wrong house. I was too used to coming to this one.
After visiting my mommy, she gives me some presents. Thanks for the little hat. And I can move through Route 202 now, and I find a Shinx. So far, our party is looking pretty solid, especially for early game. So good that we're able to clean the floor with our first Pokemon battle. I dropped off a journal to Troy and found myself in Salacion Town, where I had to chase some clowns around in order to get a Poketch. I caught a Bidoof, which is huge because in my last attempt, I was able to defeat the entire first gym with just a Bidoof. Hopefully we can make that happen again. But first, Troy challenges us to our first rival battle. On my way to Orberg, I ran into a Geodude.
Give me an Onix. It's a meatball. Don't die. It died.
Coddleditz learned Power Up Punch, and I'm in really good shape still. Rourke showed me how to smash in the mines, and I caught a big rock snake. Reminder that if you follow me on Twitch, you can watch these challenges live and also redeem nicknames for my Pokemon. This one is named Succubus.
Succubus.
I got another chance at a Geodude right before entering the first gym, and this time we got ourselves a Yugo. It's time for our first gym challenge against Rourke, the rock type leader. This should be the easiest gym we face in this challenge, but stay tuned. I went in with the same plan as before. Use Absorb on his whole team until my Bidoof is the last one standing.
Pretty much all I have to do is hit Absorb. Stealth Rock. Fantastic. And he used a potion. What a chump.
After sucking his Geodude to death, he sends out Onix, and I leave it in the red. I somehow luck out and avoid the rock throw, giving me a free win on the Onix. It's time for the ace, Cranidos. A headbutt leaves Galeo in shambles, unable to take another hit, even after an Absorb. My biggest mistake here was not maxing out my Bidoof's level for this cap. An Absorb does not do a lot of damage at all. So, this is where the tragedy begins. One by one by one.
This is the sound of this Pokemon bus losing its battery.
By one. We lose Shinx and there's only one hero to save the day. Succubus. Cranidos uses Leer. Twice. Oh. and I am astounded.
This is recoverable.
As we lay almost our entire team to rest, we still have Succubus and Yugo, but we're not out of the woods yet. It's recoverable, but we still have enemies to face before we can restock our team. Team Galactic north of Salacion Town, which we're able to make light work of. And then we hit Route 203, where I was saving an encounter, but we have to go for it at this point. Ring General has joined the team. I grabbed an old rod from an old man and used my cave encounter on the way to the next town. Our savior has arrived.
Get in there, Kathy. I know you like it.
But she still has some time before she can be of use. You know what's sad is this is our first evolution. It may be sad, but I'll take a win wherever I can get it right now. In case you didn't know, the old couple in the Flower Meadow gives you a Mew and a Jirachi if you played Let's Go and Legends Arceus. Too bad I can't use them. We added up Weasel to the team outside of Valley Windworks, and with our kind of restocked team, we're ready to face Commander Mars. The battle begins and I get off a Stealth Rock.
We switch in because it might use Fake Out.
Yugo is taking absorbs like a champ, but I knew this wasn't going to last long.
Oh, fuck.
So I send Onyx back in and get Zubat below half while still dealing Sandstorm damage. One more absorb and we smack the Zubat down. I'm not happy about it, but we have to sacrifice Yugo in an attempt to deal a Rock Smash and get Perugli's HP down. Rest in peace, Yugo. Onyx uses Bind to deal turn damage, and between the growls and paralysis, we take another dub. On to Eterna Forest, where we meet Cheryl, and I'm really hoping for a Baneri.
Here it is.
Okay, we'll take a Wurmple. Wurmple is super quick to evolve, and soon enough we have a Beautifly. Upon exiting the forest, Cynthia is waiting for us in Eterna City.
Cynthia!
Bye, Cynthia. Hate to see you go, but I love to watch you leave. Then we catch a Medicham and learn how to travel underground, which we take advantage of and find a Houndoom since fire Pokemon are scarce in this game. The rule I set for myself in the underground is that I can catch one Pokemon in each section, which we'll visit later on in this challenge. But next we're facing Gardenia, and this is how it went.
I'm going to go with Plan A, Fury Cutter through the whole thing. I'm faster.
Okay. Okay.
Hold up. I'm at max power, bro.
That's right. A clean sweep.
I am, quite frankly, that dude.
We beat Jupiter with no losses thanks to our brand new Houndoom, aka Johnny Blaze, and trusty Succubus. Picked up a green bike because I didn't have purple and made way down the biker bridge, challenging a couple trainers along the way. Cyrus confronts us for the first time with his ugly mug. We power leveled Kathy enough to the point where she finally evolved. Then hit up Hearthome City, where I found out my mom is a superstar and got challenged by Troy outside of the building. I turned Troy's team into a pile of dust within a couple minutes and got an egg from the hiker by Route 209. This counts as a special encounter, and we may or may not use it in the future, but I did want to make sure one of my encounters was from Honeytree, so we slathered some of that sweet nectar near Route 208. We'll come back later. Spooky time! We got a Ghastly, named it Casper. This is where my extremely good luck and skill and handsomeness kicked in, because I planned to possibly encounter an Abra on this route. Therefore, I was able to mean look it before it teleported, and now we have luck. But I found out its nature sucked, so we won't use luck sparingly. Sorry.
But you know what they say. The luck has to run out sometime.
So while we gained an Abra, we lost our champ Beautifly, who carried us quite a ways in this Nuzlocke. But at least luck got luckier, and fart got bigger too. Once we dealt with Chatty Chat McChatterson, we are now at the third gym. Maylene, also known as the Nuzlocke Killer, has a beefy Lucario. So let's go to the live replay to run through the game plan. Also, how could I not make my way through this puzzle made for 8-year-olds is beyond me.
I think we're getting somewhere. Strategy time. She's going to send out a Meditite. Now, this Meditite's holding Light Clay, so it knows Light Screen. If it uses Light Screen and it's holding Light Clay, it's going to last for 8 rounds instead of 5, which is going to be horrible for us because our attacks will do diddly squat. All right, so we have Pluck. It's going to take the Light Clay and hopefully one-shot this Meditite. Shouldn't matter. Done. Next, she's going to send out a Machoke. It has Guts as its ability, and it's also holding a Expert Belt, meaning that its super effective attacks are going to do 20% more damage. It knows Rock Tomb, so it's going to go for Rock Tomb, but if I use Pluck, it'll take that item, and it shouldn't one-shot me. I should get it low enough to then U-turn out. There's the Rock Tomb. That's fine. But I would like to switch out to Gyarados because I'm not faster than the Lucario. And if it attacks me, I'll lose Golbat. So I'm going to U-turn out. And it can't hit me with Bulldoze. The rest of its attacks aren't going to do much. But I just lowered its attack. It's a tough one for a potion, man. That's... Wow. Okay. Fine by me. Kathy. Hopefully I get a level up here as well. So if I'm correct, Lucario's going to use Bulk Up a couple times, which will give me time to use Bulldoze. I use Bulldoze, it lowers its speed. There's Bulk Up. That does a lot of damage. I'm going to use one more. Not the Drain Punch. I need a crit. Oran Berry. I think I go for one more. And then I finish with my move. I'm faster now. Kathy! Squirts. After squirting our way through Maylene, Chatterbox asks us to double battle a couple chumps, which earns our Golbat's trust, and now we have a Crobat. Also, Egg is now Chansey. That happened quickly. Crasher Wake is directly after this gym, so we make our way to Pastoria to catch a giraffe on the way. Chat named her Gentilly. Also went back to my honey tree and a Paradise fell out. Last name Pickens, first name Easy. So in this grass here, we might find something worthwhile. Rat with wings. Also, during our travels, we caught a Marill in the Safari Zone, which will give us a huge power Azumarill. Not a Pokemon to be taken lightly. Pickens grew his bangs out just in time to face Crasher Wake. Let's go Wake. It's time for Gentilly's debut because I taught her a special move. Gyarados' Intimidate doesn't really have any effect because... But I did underestimate the power of Crunch, so it's time to get Gen out of there. Wake uses a super potion and I regret my decision, but it's okay because Kathy's Chompers are enough to send his Gyarados packing. Quagsire is next, and that means my grass attacks do 4 times damage. And luckily all he does is create a light rain. I say easy, you say Pickens. But Floatzel is coming out and he's scary, so we need to get out of there. I thought maybe I could make a play with Luck, but unfortunately I made an oopsie whoopsie and Luck was not on our side. Rest in peace, Luck. You weren't going to make it far anyways. Kathy comes out to use Bulldoze a few times to slow it down, while I risk taking damage until Kathy is in the yellow. I think I slowed it down enough, but it also knows Aqua Jet. I'm putting little Pickens in with full faith, and I'm glad I did, because that brine would have killed Gyarados. We got the move off, and Floatzel is down. Wake has been baked. Give me that badge, boy. On our travels, we run into Troy again, who is continuously asking to get smoked. This man still has a Starly almost 5 badges into the game. I ran into Cynthia, which, if you can't tell, I am a big fan of. Oh! Cynthia. Hi, Cynthia. Go on, keep it moving, keep it pushing. And then I battled some trainers and evolved Egberta. Some irrelevant history was shown to us, and Cyrus finally told us his name. But more importantly, we are now past the halfway point at the 5th gym, Fantina. This is my least favorite gym because... Oh, nah, we're doing math. After failing my math tests on purpose, for experience, we made it to Fantina and I have a secret weapon up my sleeve. But first, we lead with Kathy and get rid of her Drifblim. We take some aftermath damage, which we have to be very careful about in this battle. Gengar weakens the damage done by Crunch with its berry and proceeds to use Confuse Ray. If we get hurt in Confusion, it could be bad, but risks must be made. And this time, it paid off. Miss Magius is last. So let's crunch it and see what happens. Well, I didn't even have to use my secret weapon. Another day, another badge. On to Canalave City, where we find the gold mine of Pokemon during our travel on Route 210. It took many tries to catch this bad boy, but Gary has joined the team. Troy?
How many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man?
Then we did the whole cave ordeal with Riley, which we're skipping over because... who cares? Byron time. I purposefully took Kathy out of my roster for this battle to prove to myself I could do some things without a Gyarados. So here's my strat, right? We lead with Houndoom. Fire Dark,
strong against Bronzor, which is not only steel, but is also psychic, which means it's going to be weak to dark moves. I have black glasses on, which power up dark moves, and I'm going to use beat up, which inflicts damage from every single member of my party, which there are 6. So in theory, this move should take out the Bronzor. And it's not looking good.
So after he uses a full restore on Bronzor, I go for one more beat up. Another hyper potion later. I'm able to burn Bronzor, but get confused in the meantime. One more Fire Fang later, and it's down.
Take a bite out of life.
We're now going to use set mode to our advantage. Anticipating the earthquake, we switch to the trash can and make it drizzle. I was right. But this Steelix also knows Thunderfang, which trash is 4 times weak to. One of those and we're dead. So now we switch to Gary because he's immune. That's called a pivot. Thanks to the rain, Gary's Muddy Water is boosted AF. So here we go. Last Pokemon. Dropped his accuracy, but still a little HP left. Stone Edge hits for squat, and we brine this thing right on out of here. Byron badge complete. I saved my Wayward Cave encounter to hopefully find a Givel or something, but...
Oh, for fuck's sake.
But Samoa Joe hit leg day, and we found him a choke. We may or may not use it later on. Our snowy journey led us to Candace. Anyway, I didn't really have a plan yet, so we're winging this one. What could go wrong? She leads with Snover, who sucks against fire Pokemon, so a Fire Fang will do the trick. Sneasel goes down just as easy thanks to Johnny Blaze. But her next Pokemon is not an ice type, so we're subbing in Casper. The Hypnosis actually lands and we have a sleeping opponent. It's time to lay a Hex because it does much more damage with a status condition. That's cash. Abomasnow is last, another one that's weak to fire. I tried Hypnosis again, but we didn't get so lucky. Getting greedy, I tried again. But Casper toughed it out so I wouldn't feel sad. Unfortunately, there is still a Hailstorm going on. I am so sorry, Casper. Let's finish this off. Samoa Joe comes in to break the ice. One Calm Mind, then we're down to half. We dish it right back with a Drain Punch, but it's still not enough. A couple more and that's a victory for Sens. The Icicle badge is in the books. Only one more to go before the Elite Four. We had our run-in with Palkia, but before we could catch it, there were a few bosses in the way. We're not going to go through the whole scene, but it's worth noting that we experience a loss. So while we wait to face the legendary that we're not even allowed to use, Cyrus's Gyarados sends poor Gentilly back to the lobby. Rest in peace. To Sunny Shore City we go, the last stop before the big Pokemon League. We have a couple additions going into this battle, which are Staravia from the Trophy Garden, this Bronzor we caught in Wayward Cave, oh, and the Lucario that Riley gave us in that part we skipped. But during a gym trainer battle, tragedy struck.
Oh no, oh no. Oh.
Oh, Gary, now I know I was wrong. I messed up and now you're gone. Gary, I'm sorry I neglected you. Oh, I never expected you to run away and leave me feeling this empty. Your meow right now would sound like music to me. Please come home, 'cause I miss
Gary!
We are here to mourn the loss of a great companion of the team. Gary was not only a Pokemon, but also a friend. He will forever be in our hearts and will never be forgotten. We never expected him to run away and leave us feeling this empty. He will be missed. Rest in peace, Gary.
Well, in my revenge arc, I needed to use my secret weapon. Remember how I said I was allowed to catch a Pokemon in each zone of the underground? I went to these areas and picked up some friends. Meet Bertha and Vengeance. We must complete this for Gary. We trade a couple shots with Raichu and then send out Bertha. This Raichu knows Surf, but Bertha is a tank, so we're able to handle a couple of those. Enough to defeat the Raichu and send out Samoa Joe for the Ambipom. It was a little risky, but a few Drain Punches later and we're standing strong. Octillery comes out and uses Curse. That's enough for us to finish it off with another Drain Punch. And then the so-called trump card Luxray is all that's left. It knows Intimidate, so it cuts our attack, but I'm switching to Succubus anyway, and finally friendship mechanics begin to work in our favor. Multiple times. Luxray is no match for my Steelix with leftovers, even with its Citrus Berry. We've got Volkner in a corner. Many bulldozes later, we successfully avenge Gary the Snail. We've got it. The last badge. Skipping ahead to the Pokemon League, there is one more battle we must complete before entering. Staraptor uses Rain Dance, and we would have knocked it out if it weren't for the Focus Sash. Close combat hits us for a lot, but that gives us a perfect opportunity to Volt Switch out and prepare for the next Pokemon. It's Bruce versus Heracross now, and we have the advantage. So much that we take it out in one hit. Roserade met the same fate just as quickly. I go for the poison on Snorlax, but no luck. It yawns Bruce, so we're U-turning into Gyarados, so it can't hit us with high horsepower. Kathy isn't messing around with Waterfall as it absolutely crushes Troy's Snorlax. Rapidash is next. It manages to get the poison on Kathy, but it's still no match. All that's left is Empoleon. I send Bruce in to do some work. This last one was really a group effort, and a few pivots later, Marv the Bronzong is able to finish the Penguin off, allowing us entry to the Pokemon League. GG's, Troy.
Now, let me introduce you to the team. This is Kathy. Kathy Squirts. This is Bertha. We caught her in the underground. This is Marv. Yes, we're taking Marv into the Elite Four. We are taking Birds this time because I felt bad that I didn't take Birds to the Elite Four in our last Nuzlocke, and we technically don't need to take him because we could have used Crobat. This is Mickey, the Azumarill. It has huge power. We found him in the Great Marsh. And this is Pickens, short for Easy Pickens. It's not the best Pokemon at all. With that being said, we are flying to the Elite Four.
And so we enter, the doors shutting behind us. There's no turning back now. It's go time. This Dustox is going to try to poison us, so we need to hit it first. I have Birds use Pluck, and there goes that Dustox. Next is Heracross, which I'm not sure if it's faster, but it does have a Flame Orb, so if I let it burn itself, its attack will be maxed. Luckily, it's super weak to my Bird, and I'm faster. Beautifly comes out and gets eliminated immediately, but here's where things get interesting. I cannot one-shot this Vespiquen, but there's not much it can do to me. Expecting the full restore, it didn't happen. So one pluck later, the queen goes down. Drapion is last in this battle, so we're U-turning out because it's not a good matchup. Kathy should be faster, so we send her out with Intimidate and eat the cross poison for a lot. Bulldoze gets it low, but not low enough. We need to get Kathy out, so we send in Bertha, and he uses a full restore. All I need is one Earthquake, and we take its attack with ease. Aaron is cleared. I really hate to do this to you, Grandma, but it's time to get gully, old lady. These hands are rated E for everyone. We've got Marv versus Quag. I explained the game plan way better live, so here you go.
The majority, I think 4 for team, is 4 times weak against grass. So we need a grass Pokemon, which is why we have Pickens. All right, but the reason I have Marv out is because we need to use a Stealth Rock, because one of her Pokemon has Sturdy, which we cannot one-shot, and I don't want to take an Earthquake from her Golem because it has a high attack stat.
Her team is very slow, which is how my Bronzong can outspeed right now. But we get off the stealth and tank a Surf. Oh, and I have leftovers. Since Marv is a brick house here, I go for the Confuse Ray in order to make an easy switch. And an Earthquake. Okay, no more risky plays. Pickens eats an Earthquake like a late brunch and sends Quagmire back to the Shadow Realm. Whiscash comes in holding a Rindo Berry that helps it survive a Giga Drain and Stealth Rock damage. Bulldoze does next to nothing and the full restore is used. This time there's no Rindo Berry to save it though. Then we go straight into the KO on Sudowoodo. It's trash day for Pickens.
So this is the one I was talking about. It has Sturdy, which means we can't one-shot it. But I already set up the Stealth Rock, so it's going to take damage when it comes in.
That's right, there will be no getting Sturdy in this battle. Do people still do that? I think I missed the trend. Time to face the Hippo. Hopefully we can get rid of it in 2 shit. Is that an Ice Fang? That's okay, we survived. Don't talk that smack now, Grammy. I'm going to the next room and you're gonna like it. What's up, Flint? Nice haircut, bro. He leads with a Rapidash. I lead with Bertha. Bertha likes the way his horse smells. I'm uncomfortable. Flint put Bertha to sleep, but little does he know he fell right into my trap. It's time for the reverse Uno card. Take a nap while I cook, Rapidash. I came prepared with a Chesto Berry, so Bertha is awake and it's his turn to sleep. I'm Dragon Dancing Kathy and we go for the Waterfall because his Pokemon is still asleep and there's a sandstorm going on. This is where I really have to tread carefully because this Steelix knows Thunderfang. Is one Dragon Dance enough to eliminate this Steelix before it fangs me? After a long contemplation, I take the chance. I don't know how we're going to complete this without Kathy, but we never back down and we never give up.
This is where we separate the masters from the trainers.
After some exchanges between the two beasts, I switch out to Mickey and finally slay the Steelix. As you can see, his Lopunny barely does any damage to Mickey, and that's all she can do, so this went on for a while. Mickey also has leftovers and Aqua Ring, so I just kept restoring HP and using workup to max out its attack. Finally, I went in for the kill. Then Drifblim came out and baton passed for some reason, which worked out because he sent out Infernape, who took the waterfall, hung on using Sash, and then full restored, so that means no attack ever came in. Mickey was then able to wreak havoc on the rest of the team, getting us the dub. It is time for the final member of the Elite Four, the last obstacle before the final boss, Cynthia. We lost Kathy, so this is going to be extremely tough. This is Lucian, and he's leading with Mr. Mime, who starts with a light screen and Marv launches a stealth rock. We get hit with a dazzling gleam and Marv rips a light screen. It's time to start attacking, so we go with the Shadow Ball. Realizing this is going to take a while, I decide to stick with it since Marv has leftovers. Unfortunately, Lucian used the full restore, taking away all of our progress. I make the decision to rotate Bertha in to start a sandstorm. Bertha yawns so we can put this thing to sleep and use a curse in the meantime. One earthquake is enough to get it down to red, and it's time to recover. The sandstorm, of course, subsides as soon as I need it, but an earthquake is enough for the finish. I'm switching in Mickey to take on Medicham, but it doesn't look like any of my Pokemon can handle it very easily. So Marv it is. A Thunder Punch stings a bit, and the high jump kick puts Marv away. Another one gone. This is getting sticky. Birds should be able to put a dent in this thing while also getting off the Intimidate. Well, I could have done that in the first place. Oops. This Girafarig knows T-Bolt, so unfortunately we need to get Birds out of there. Pickens comes in to see the heal, and I did not know its ability was Sap Sipper. This is bad. Back to Birds, and luckily we get Psychic instead of T-Bolt. Until the next turn. Bertha comes in and rests to regain HP. Upon waking up, we hit an earthquake for about 3/4 damage. One more rest to hopefully stall for a bit, and it does work. Only 2 more Pokemon, and the first is Alakazam. Pickens tries extremely hard to hang in there, but this Alakazam is boosting its special attack to the moon. It's time to face the inevitable. Pickens is an absolute trooper, but our last 2 beloved Pokemon need to meet their fate. With one more pivot into Bertha, she goes down to a Psychic, and Mickey falls to a Shockwave. I send Pickens in one last time, but we've finally hit the wall. And thus marks the end of a triumphant hardcore Nuzlocke run. We may not have been successful, but there is a lesson to be learned today. To never give up even when things are looking tough, because it's worth the fun in the end. We're all Pokemon kids at heart. If this is your first time here, my name is Sens, and welcome to the dojo. Let's make this year a good one.
Gary, now I know I was wrong. I messed up and now you're gone.